on Android, and we distribute that through an enterprise license on the App Store. And that's because that app has more critical kind of real-time geolocation and push notification type functionality, and we can go through the installation process with that with the service providers more easily. And with that one, we've seen it's more probably about 70-30 Android to iOS for the service provider application. A lot of that's because typically or often sex workers will have multiple phones, like their personal phone and their work phone. I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the load. And often their work phones will be a less expensive device, so you're seeing more Androids in service provider application.
Now, how do you make money from the app, and how do the escorts make their money?
We charge the client £5 or 10 Australian dollars each time they make a booking. It's free for escorts, and we're going to keep it free for escorts to list. A lot of other platforms charge, but we're going to keep it free, and we're going to see sort of maximum traction, I guess, as opposed to taking large fees. With that said, we're in it for the long run. We want to make sure we can generate enough revenue to continue building out interesting features and new regions. So we've got other revenue models. One of the ones that I'm a big fan of is surge pricing. So in regions and areas where there's limited availability, such as late on a Saturday night or early on a Sunday morning, we'll automatically increase the escorts and the service provider's price by a ratio and pass it on to the clients, and we'll take a healthy chunk of that surge because it's a unique function that we're providing that wouldn't exist otherwise. The client's much less price sensitive. He's happy to pay the increased fee to use the platform to get a service when he couldn't otherwise, and the service provider's happy because they're getting a much larger fee than they would typically, and we're happy because we can take revenue from this less price sensitive area of the market, and that way keep the fee low so that lots of users kind of enjoy the functionality that might not have the increased spending habits.
Okay, now how does the app protect the escorts, particularly the women?
So it's largely preventative. Basically, because we require the client to give us their mobile number, their credit card, because we track their phone and the escort's phone throughout the appointment. If something does go wrong or there is an issue, we've got fairly strong documentation to be able to provide that to the service provider or take any other additional steps that they would like to take. And that's significantly better than the current process where when an escort takes a new client, they basically verify them by the sound of their voice and or the tone of their messages, and often they'll run a few cursory checks, such as Googling their number. There is a few regions and areas that have groups like Ugly Mugs or programs where sex workers can record phone numbers of problematic clients in a kind of central repository, which we're looking integrated with. So the majority of the security comes from the fact that it's preventative, that we are recording these kind of details, and that someone's not going to cause problems when they know that's occurring. We are putting in place functionality that basically actively follows up if there's delays in the appointment. So because the escort and the client both carry the devices, we know when the appointment's supposed to start, we know when they confirm it started, we know when it's supposed to end. We can put in place procedures that automatically follow up if there's a delay by SMSing or phone calling to check in and to see that there's no problem. And then we can automatically escalate to security companies or whatnot if we need someone to go and check. The barriers around that are making sure that the service provider or the client hasn't gotten their phone or they've agreed to an overtime. So we don't want to be kind of causing problems with false positives. There's a lot of room and scope for us to provide greater security services further down the line, but at the moment it's preventative and that we've got all the details there that wouldn't exist otherwise should a problem arise. So
as far as it being available in the U.S., it just being available to folks overall, you go to the website, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, the legal situation in America with regards to prostitution is that it's illegal everywhere apart from in Nevada, and that's just a problem as far as I'm aware. So we're not operating there at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much for your knowledge and your insight and for taking the time to talk to us at Check This Out News. You are now tuned into Check This Out News. We connect the streets.